Hi, Aaron Apel here, Operations Manager at Gravel City Adventure and Supply Company, your foremost outfitter for all things Flint Hills gravel. Just getting back to you with our gear guide series and getting you guys ready for coming into the area and battling it out with the Flint Hills. Today we're going to talk about your body and making sure that your body is comfortable through the entire distance, maybe not the entire distance, most of the distance of these big races that you're coming down here to partake in. Big thing that we need to talk about, we kind of touched on last time, is tire pressure. That's going to be your first line of defense. If you can get your tire pressure down to a place where it's absorbing a lot of what's coming at you from the road, that's going to be a huge benefit to you. You can also go too far with that. You don't want your tire pressure to be so low that you're bobbing up and down when you're moving down the road. So I'm going to reiterate a point from last time. Keep experimenting with tire pressure. For more on tire pressure, make sure you check out our part 1 video that's all about tires, tire treads, pressures, repair, all that. Go check it out. All right, tire pressure. I'm not gonna say anything more about that, I promise. The Flint Hills, there's a lot of different kinds of gravel out there. Just like that classic song about coconuts, big ones, small ones, some as big as your head. It's the same thing with gravel. You're gonna come across all of it. And sometimes tire pressure isn't gonna be enough. There's still gonna be things that rattle you to death, that still make their way up to your body, and there are ways that we can make those touch points more comfortable. One of the major ones is the front end of the bike. There are a few things, less expensive things than buying an entirely new bike, that you can do to kind of help offset some of that reverberation that's coming at you. Thing number 1, cheapest thing you can do, handlebar tape or gel inserts underneath your existing handlebar tape. Lizard Skin, as well as a couple of other companies out there, are making a 3.2 millimeter. I think Lizard Skin's getting ready to come out with some stuff that's even a little bit thicker than this, that can really help absorb some of that stuff that's coming up at you. The other thing, Physique makes these really nice bar gels. These can go underneath, just the simplest of cork tapes, but are another really nice option to make things softer on your hands. The one thing I will say about more bar tape or gels underneath the bar, they do make the handlebars thicker. So if you have smaller hands, that might not be the best option because it's going to change the way that you grip the handlebar. And ultimately, we want to make sure that you still feel very confident and very stable on those handlebars. So we don't want to do anything that's gonna make you nervous or that's gonna change the way that you can grip the bike. So keep that in mind. The other thing that you can do on the front end of the bike is we're starting to see this really nice series of stems that are being produced by a number of companies. This particular stem is a Redshift. They make these in a variety of lengths, and they've got a small elastomer in the stem, so the stem actually pivots just ever so slightly. So as things are coming at you from the ground, the handlebars are going to move ever so slightly. They have a number of different thicknesses or durometers of elastomer, so you can tune this stem to your body weight. Or to the terrain that you're riding on. The other thing that you can do, there's a really unique product, and I don't know if a lot of people understand what it does or how it works, but Cane Creek is a very innovative company that we like here at Gravel City, and they make a headset that actually has the ability to absorb and kind of stabilize your steering. It's called the ViscoSet. And I would highly suggest that you reach out if you've got more questions about that. But it's simply a top cup as well as a bearing and a series of very small shims that can be installed on most bicycles that allow you to stabilize and even absorb some of that reverberation that you're getting from the ground. It helps give you more control. And ultimately, that's what we're talking about specifically on the front end and rugged terrain coming up through your body. Ultimately, it makes controlling the bike more difficult. So reach out to us if you've got questions on any of these products on the front end of the bike. We've talked about the front end of the bike, but a lot of your body weight and more of what you feel probably comes from the back end of the bike. And when I say you feel it, I mean later in the race, your lower back, your shoulders, all that stuff is hurting, but the seat and the reverberation that's coming in and up from the back wheel is really one of those things that can wear you down. So there's a couple of things that we probably should discuss. First and foremost, there are seat posts out there that can make the ride of the bike softer. Seat posts with a slight bit of setback are going to give you just a little bit more flex. They're gonna allow your body to move. They're gonna help dissipate some of that reverberation. But there's also some really great products out there. Once again, Cane Creek makes a wonderful product called the E-Silk. It's a seat post that has an amazing little elastomer in it. They've actually made a couple of different versions. They're very lightweight. They're not gonna be a huge weight penalty, but man, are they gonna pay dividends later in the race as far as being able to still feel your hindquarters. That's always a benefit. So check out the E-Silk. That's a fantastic product that you should look at. Other thing is a lot of people think that with your saddle, the more padding, the better. And I am going to go ahead and squash that right now. At first, yes, that padding is gonna feel great, but the other thing that's gonna happen is that padding is gonna move and shift on you. So don't get heavily padded saddles. There are some key fit things that you should probably be looking at, making sure that your sit bones are positioned correctly on the saddle. Your whole body weight should be positioned on your sit bones. That's where you're gonna make sure that soft tissues and things like that aren't going numb. So yeah, saddles, stay away from heavily padded, but definitely look at the ergonomics of a number of different companies out there. Specialized is making some great saddles. Ergon is making some great saddles. Brooks Cambriums are a nice product that have worked really well for a lot of people. Very personal choice, but just avoid the heavy padding on the saddle side of things. But on the flip side of that, a good chamois. It does mean that you might have to spend a little bit to get a higher quality chamois in the shorts or the bibs that you're buying, but definitely look at a quality chamois. It's gonna pay dividends, as we've said time and time before. By the time you get to the end of the race, it's gonna make sure that you're still happy and not completely miserable. The final piece of the comfort puzzle is probably more simple than it should be, but it's something that begs to be pointed out. Stand up. Stand up on your pedals. If you're coming through a rough section, stand up, get your butt off the saddle. Allow your body to be a shock absorber. Let the bike kind of float underneath you. Your body positioning and your ability to be dynamic across the bike is going to definitely help you when it comes to those later times in the race where you're coming across really rugged, chunky stuff, you're angry at the world. Just stand up, stretch your legs a little bit, and let your joints move and do what they're designed to do. If you pay attention to all the little details that I've just laid out, I think that you're gonna come across the line and you're gonna be a far happier person than if you were to do the exact opposite of everything that I just said. Maybe that's a scientific experiment that we could run. We could have somebody go out and ride and do the exact opposite of what I said. I'd love to see the feedback on that. But thank you for giving us some time. Stay tuned for part 3 coming up. Again, my name is Aaron Apel, Operations Manager here at Gravel City Adventure and Supply Company. I'm available by email, phone, fax, Instagram. Just hit me up. I'm here. I would love to talk. I would love to give you the inside scoop on how to get you across the line and keep you coming back for more, because this place is incredible and we love sharing it with you.